Hi guys, it is 2025, right babe? Okay, it's a new year. I literally have YouTube videos written into my Google Calendar so that I can film, because this year I really want to be more consistent on YouTube. That's my goal for the year. Right babe? Yeah. So today is a story time. I just want to start off by saying that I feel like what stopped me from doing more YouTube videos is the fact that when I first started YouTube, it was mainly for like my beauty content. Yes, baby. She's like, who are you talking to? Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I feel like I was just so focused on, I can't really do a lot of videos because all of my videos are supposed to be beauty related. So I stopped myself from really filming a lot because I felt like, my channel is mainly beauty. But I feel like I'm not just beauty. I love beauty products, but I do want to do story times and just like different vlogs. So today we are actually doing a story time. Today's story time is, I'm not gonna lie, very sad personally. But I do feel like I have to talk about it because I feel like it's another way of me to move forward and let go, especially after last year in 2024 with my baby being born. My perspective on life has changed. So I just want to move on from that and at least talk about it. If you saw my video in 2023, when I posted about what happened to our baby. If you haven't watched that video, you should go and watch it so you can have more of an idea, because I really don't want to go over all of that. It was kind of long. But this story time is basically my biggest regret in life so far. To recap that video of 2023 talking about how I lost the baby, I just want to say that I didn't really put the full details into the video at the time because I just felt like I was ashamed at the time. I didn't want to talk about it. I wanted to move on. I wanted to let it go. Obviously I couldn't, but I want to give more details now. By the way, don't mind the random like heavy makeup. I was doing some Instagram. I wanted to do like this Instagram post, but in 2023, I was pregnant. I was far along. I was already 17 weeks. And every time that we would get a sonogram, Jay and I would be like, oh, look, her head, it's so big, blah, blah, blah. And it was like a funny joke to us. Obviously, we didn't know there was anything wrong at the time. But when I went to, I think it was like the 15-week, 16-week appointment, they just kept saying like, hey, she's just not growing as she should. I need you to go see a specialist. So I went to go see the specialist, and the specialist basically told me, hey, your baby has a rare deformity, which is, it's called triploidy. And then I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, triploidy. Basically, long story short, it's when the baby's head continues to grow, but their body does not. So obviously the pregnancy was not my biggest regret. My biggest regret was the choice that I had. So the doctors basically told me like, look, first of all, the specialist that I spoke with, he was so nice and caring, but I mean, you could tell he does this all the time. So to him, it was like, okay, like, what are you going to do, you know? He obviously forwarded all the information to my personal doctors. My personal doctors reached back out, and he originally had told me, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's the scan. He sees it all the time. Not all the time, because it's kind of rare, but I feel like I'm all over the place. Sorry. It's just also kind of hard for me because I'm filming this and I'm like, it's making me emotional all over again. My choice, I had two choices. The doctor told me, hey, you are fairly healthy, honestly. So two things are going to happen here. Either one, you can terminate the pregnancy, or two, you can continue the pregnancy basically until the baby dies. Because he told me that the baby could either die inside while she was still growing, or I could give birth, she would be born alive for maybe a couple of hours and then pass, or she could be born and instantly pass. So for me, obviously he told me that the day of. And then again, he was like, hey, I'm going to forward this information to your doctors. They're going to reach back out to you. My doctor called me. I don't remember if it was that same day or the day after, and was telling me everything like, hey, I'm so sorry. Like, I know what happened, like the results, blah, blah, blah. My doctors were extremely supportive, and she told me, hey, we have two options. Do you want to continue this pregnancy, or would you like to terminate? And obviously they had given me days to think about it. And in my head, I was like, at that point, when I had the diagnosis, it was 16 weeks. At 16 weeks, it's a baby. It's not an embryo. And I think, I always tell you guys this, that I hate crying on camera, but I'm such an emotional person, so it's hard for me to not cry. But my headspace was like, I can't do that. It's 16 weeks, she's farther along. But my thing was this, because at this point, I don't feel like I have to defend myself or explain myself to anybody, because I understand everything now. But at that time, like when I would tell my best friends about it, or close family friends, like I just felt so ashamed of having to tell them, like, I think I'm going to terminate. And I remember asking Jay, like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? Like, am I going to terminate? Am I going to continue this pregnancy? Like, what's going to happen? And he was very supportive and told me, you know, like, it's your decision. I will support whatever you want to do. And I made the decision to terminate because I felt like I was already at the point where I was about to start showing. And I wasn't showing yet. I'm like looked bloated barely, but I wasn't really showing. And I personally felt like I could not handle, because again, I was told that I was very healthy, like for my age, for everything. And it was more than likely that the baby would go to term and then pass at delivery. So to me, I was like, I did not think I would be able to walk through life looking pregnant and people saying, is it a boy? Is it a girl? I don't know what. Because with this past pregnancy with Emma, I literally could not go anywhere without anybody making a comment about my pregnancy. So I already knew in my head, like, I'm not going to be able to walk around in public and people ask me questions and then I instantly start crying and bawling. And I was like, I can't do that. But that wasn't even my primary concern. My primary concern was the fact that if she went full term and let's say I gave birth, I personally know I would not have survived that. The worst part is that when I found out about the diagnosis and everything, I had joined, yes, baby. I had joined these support groups of women who went through the whole thing too. And I wanted to see people's experience, like if they went to term, if they terminated, if they did all these things. And I saw both sides. Some people literally went all the way to term. Some people terminated the second they found out. So I kind of posted and said, hey, I'm this far along. This is what's going on. My whole situation. And I posted that. And then I completely forgot about Facebook for days because obviously I was going through all this in my head. And I told Jay, like, I will not survive if I have to give birth to her and I'm holding her passed away. Like, I can't do it. I can't. I'm already, and I, like, the pain that I had, because there was so much excitement for this pregnancy, you guys. We were so excited. I was so excited that it was going to be a girl. And I could not, like, the pain that I felt was insane. I don't even know how to describe it to you guys. So I told Jay I'm gonna have to terminate. I'm gonna, whatever. He went with, obviously he went with me. He supported me. It was a hard process because you have to go about the day before you're gonna have your procedure, and they insert some things inside of you, which basically makes your body think you are going into labor so that they can do the procedure. So that entire day beforehand, I was in so much pain. Like, I could feel like if it was labor contractions, which is what they told me, like, you're basically gonna have a lot of the contractions. Next day we went, I got put under. The doctors were extremely nice, and I at the time felt so, like, I felt so judged when nobody was judging me. Like, I was ashamed myself of the decision that I chose. And I remember the doctor who did the procedure was the doctor who gave me the diagnosis. And when he saw me there, he was like, hey, how are you? And I, like, instantly started crying, and I was like, oh, like, I'm gonna have to do this. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this. Like, farther along the line, if she's born, I can't handle that. Like, I'm not gonna be okay. And I remember him, like, holding my hand and saying, like, you, like, don't worry about it. Like, I 1,000% understand your mentality with this. Like, this is not an easy choice. And they did tell me as well that if I did decide to move forward with the pregnancy, and the baby passed while inside of me, sometimes they don't find out because, you know, they're like the appointments are obviously not that frequent. It could potentially also be harmful for me health-wise. That was one of the points that he made, where he was like, I did not want to give you my opinion because it's 100% your choice. He's like, but I feel like you really are doing the right thing in my eyes, because obviously he's a doctor, so he just, like, thinks everything medically. And he was telling me that he's seen women go through it, and that it's such a hard thing where afterwards, mentally, they are just not okay. In a way, I just felt more at ease, which is weird. But when he reassured me and just was telling me, like, hey, this is an impossible decision and you cannot blame yourself for this, it just kind of released a little bit for me, right? That's not the part where I just was horrible. I did the procedure. I was probably in bed for 1 or 2 days, kind of recovering. And I go back to Facebook because I had completely forgot about it. And I start seeing the comments on that Facebook post, where a lot of them, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of them were very nice and very encouraging. A bunch of women who obviously went through the same thing, and they were telling me that, hey, like, we've been exactly where you are, and we don't judge you for whatever you decide to do. It's 100% your choice. And they were like, you need to do what's best for you, and we're here to support you, whatever, which were great, and they really helped me. But I saw about 2 or 3 different comments of these women saying, like, that they didn't believe in termination, and they were like, well, you know, I don't believe in termination. The baby's already farther along at 17 weeks at that point, because I had just hit 17 weeks when I had to do the procedure. And they're like, well, you know, I don't believe in it. So when I had this come up with me, I gave birth. Yeah, I love you. I gave birth, and I was able to hold my baby for a couple of hours before they passed. And I remember reading those comments and feeling so ashamed. And that's why I say that it's the biggest regret of my life, because I feel like I look back at those comments and I'm like, damn, like I feel like I acted selfishly in my part, because I was like, I should have gone to term. I should have had the baby. And if the baby passed, obviously it was going to happen. But like I should have been strong enough. I feel like I should have been strong enough to go through the process. And I feel like it was so selfish of me to terminate instead of going through it. That's how I felt before, for the longest time, longest time. It's still my biggest regret. I feel like I should have gone to term. But I feel, and my best friend Melissa always tells me this, but I feel like I did what was best for me at that time, in that moment. Even though it was the right thing for me at that time, like, it doesn't mean that I don't regret it, because I do. I regret not being strong enough to say, I don't worry about, like, I don't care about me. I'm going to just focus on her and have her. So that is definitely something that I still think about till now. You know, I already have Emma. I got pregnant with her a couple of months after everything happened. And I think after having Emma, right now she's already 7 months. She is growing crazy big. Just after having her, I just realized how short life is and how fast time flies. And it was such a major, it was like the biggest thing that I regret. But I look back and I'm like, I had to go through all of that to get what I have now, which is my baby, my beautiful baby Emma. And she is my entire world, you guys. She's the best baby in the world. Yeah. I love her, and I do think all of that I went through was worth it. But it still doesn't mean it was the biggest regret of my life. But the point of this little story time is, because of Emma, I just want to be able to move on and let go of things. And yeah, 2025 is going to be such a good year. She's going to be 1 in June. So yeah, I'm just excited to see what our future holds with her. Maybe a new baby. Just kidding, you guys. Just kidding. I don't know how people have like 30 kids. They're insane. I can barely handle 1 baby. Yeah. We always knew that if we had a baby girl, we were going to name her Emma, after Jay's grandmother, who passed and he was really close to, who basically raised him a lot. And the baby, we were going to put Isabella. And I remember telling Jay, like, oh, like, is it weird if for our new girl we put her Emma Isabella? Because I still love Emma and Isabella. And I'm like, what if we do it kind of like as a tribute, you know, to both of them, to his grandmother and to our previous baby? And he was like, yeah, like, that's perfect. It was so beautiful to us, which is why we decided to put the same name that we were going to put on the first baby, as a tribute, like I said, to both of them. But I always wonder, I'm like, crazy that she was gonna be a girl again. So I'm like, is this the same Emma that I was gonna get? I don't know if you guys believe in like fate and that things are supposed to happen as they should. I always thought about that, and I would always wonder, and I'm like wondering if this is my same Emma or if it's another Emma that my first Emma sent to me. Thank you guys for listening to me vent and tell you a story time about the biggest regret. I know it's weird because I'm like laughing and smiling, but I feel like I just wanted to get that off of my chest. And look at her. I love her. Thank you guys for watching today's video. We're definitely going to be doing more just out of the box videos because I feel like a lot of the time, I told you guys earlier, I put myself in a box a lot, and I feel like that's why I'm not creating all the ones I want to create. But we are going to be going out and making videos, right? Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.